personal touch that Dr. Bansi Sabu and Dr. Arvind and the whole team of treatment events comes to it is very close to what I'm going to talk about is pattern analysis and management, and what we call as an integrated patient diabetes management tool. So at the end, what are we talking about is that we need to understand the life of a patient with diabetes or a person with diabetes, and that is what we call as pattern analysis. Now all of us want to send our child to the best school, and we feel that if we send the child to the best school, he's going to be a merit lister. We want to we the patients with diabetes want to go to the best top 5 doctor, and they feel that by going to the top 5 doctor, you are going to get your HbA1c under control. That's not the case. Pattern analysis is extremely important. Unless you understand the life of a person with diabetes, you can never be able to manage his diabetes. That's why pattern analysis, pattern management, and a digital solution today in the whole scenario of telemedicine, and where the MOH has said that telemedicine is equivalent to a real case to case kind of consultation, is where IPDM becomes extremely clinically important. So what is pattern analysis? Now this is what you get in your clinic. If the patient comes to us with this, the one on the left side, can you identify any pattern here? No, the doctor is not at all happy at this. On the same side, if the patient comes with something like this, a plot, doctor's eyes completely bulge out and he says, wow, this is a patient who's in charge. And that is what we want. We want a literate patient. We want a better patient physician interaction. We want a patient who is in the center of his own disorder. Diabetes is only managed by the patient. We are just healthcare providers and we give them advice. Now, what is pattern analysis? How do we analyze blood glucose patterns? Step one, we need to identify hypo, hyper, postprandial hyperglycemia. Step two, we need to determine the timing and occurrence of the abnormality. Third, we have to find out what are the causes. There'll be multiple causes: physical, food choices, medication. Data suggests that 30% of pattern issues are related to patients, 20% related to system. In India, I believe 50 to 60% is patient related factors. Now, patient related factors could go from food choices, the variability of Indian food, to a lot of misconception and myths about medications, and to system. There's nobody who's explaining to the patient that this drug is to be taken 3 times a day, half an hour before meals or after meals, or this is chronic care therapy. You need to continue medications till you come back to the clinic. We mentioned for 3 months. At the end of the 90th day, the patient stops the medication, feeling it's a course. So there's a lot of patient and physician divide here, and that is what causes poor glycemic management, and that is why HbA1c is at 8.9 today in this country. Step 4, decide about the best course of action. Extremely important. Testing blood glucose, as Dr. Makkar said, is in a structured way, is the only way of understanding pattern, and structured testing at right time, at right frequency is the key for decision making and therapy optimization. Pattern analysis. Now, pattern analysis can predict severe hypoglycemia, as you can see data. And severe hypoglycemia is apart from it being one of the highest risk factor to an event, we still don't know whether it's a risk marker or a risk factor, but we surely know that severe hypoglycemia identifies patients who are at a very vulnerable cause for all-cause mortality. So if a patient gets severe hypoglycemia, we need to investigate multiple things in them. And the VADT clearly showed that hypoglycemia is second to the event itself, to a future occurrence of the event. So hypoglycemia prediction, important. Pattern analysis based on structured blood glucose measurements predicted more than 50% of severe hypoglycemia. What were the people who were using pattern analysis? The patient becomes very much involved in his disorder. That's what we want. We want to put the patient at the center of his management. Like if you have a notorious naughty kid in school, a good school teacher would actually make that student as the monitor of the class. In that way, we need to encourage our patients to become independent and also take care of themselves. That is why diabetes self-management becomes extremely important. So survey of people with diabetes performing pattern analysis says that 96% had accuracy of recording. of the participants agreed that the tool was easy to complete. 90% were willing to repeat structured blood glucose testing, and 68% of the participants correlated meal size with postprandial blood glucose. So if you ask a patient that what do you eat, everyone eats the same. It's roti, sabji, dal, roti, salad, and dahi. How does it change? It's the type of cooking, it's the pattern of cooking, and also the pattern of meals. Unless we find out pattern, like I have had patients who I realized after 2 years that the patient is a divorcee. Patient does not get food from home, so patient is on outsourced on food. We realize that there are patients who sleep at 4 o'clock in the night. There are patients who skip meals. That there are a huge population of patients in Bombay who have only brunch and dinner and just vada pav or maybe something in the afternoon. So these are patterns which we need to find out, and that can occur only when we do a lot of dietary recall and pattern adjustments with these patients. Pattern analysis supports better diabetes management. 86% of physicians find pattern analysis to be of equal or greater value than HbA1c. If we are able to identify patterns and speak about patterns to patient, the physician-patient relationship goes to a completely different level. And physicians would change therapeutic decisions after pattern analysis. There are patients who jump time zones. There are patients who work 5 days a week and 2 days a week, they're just resting. They wake up at 12 noon. That is why pattern analysis is important. And then what is pattern management? Pattern management is a systematic process of keeping blood glucose levels at individual targets by identifying the relationship between blood glucose and patient behaviors, or could be system behaviors also, and acting on this knowledge to improve ultimately glycemic control. So what are the ingredients of pattern management? One is getting all the data. As Dr. Makkar said, data is the next dollar. Getting all the data, whether it's pre-meal, post-meal data, data about physical activity, data about stress, data about so many things, data about illnesses, data about family problems. Look for patterns and assess possible relationship between blood glucose levels and behavior. Determine the causes of suboptimal glucose level. Follow current regimen more consistently or make necessary to the regimens. What are the barriers to effective patient management? Most often barrier is kind of what I would call as diabetes apathy. Patients after a period of time, 10 years, feel कि doctor सब कुछ कर दिया, अभी कुछ नहीं होता है. सब कुछ किया diet. So when you tell a patient just meet my dietitian and educator, sir मेरे को सब मालूम है diet के बारे में. Education मेरे को सब कुछ पता है. So there's a lot of apathy in patients per se. 1 minute, Dr. Bansi's call. Yeah, Bansi? Hello, Bansi, I'm on the talk. I'll call you back. Hello, sorry. I hope I'm very audible and Bansi is not calling me because of some technical glitch or out here.
You are absolutely very clearly audible.
Very clear, no? So I just got a call from Bansi. I thought whether there is
everything going fine.
Fine. No? So thank you, sir. So we have this diabetes apathy, which is a terminology I have made that patients feel कि कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Then there's burnout. Like we physicians are burned out today. There's a diabetes burnout that they feel that now अभी कुछ नहीं, अभी खाली भगवान पे छोड़ दिया है. And health literacy extremely poor in our country. So this is where we need to come in. Record keeping, taking the data together, analyzing it, making it visually good. My first slide was about how the data was kept. It has to be visually good for the doctor to look at it and then the doctor to interpret it. Time consuming and discomfort. So what are the required knowledge and skills? Interpretation of blood glucose results, correct medication administration, ability to identify the effect of diet and activity, keep records, blood glucose, diet and exercise, whether it's written or electronic. Important. Proactive approach, absolutely proactive approach to blood glucose management, comprehensive, taking into account the many factor, can be done without a sophisticated equipment, promotes diabetes self-management, patient engagements, and again combats clinical inertia. There's a lot of inertia among all of us. That is why in today's world, this IPDM approach becomes extremely important. What is IPDM finally? What is IPDM? Covers everything from blood glucose measurement to blood glucose documentation to blood glucose being presented visually and digitally in a better manner to giving therapeutic solutions, and then assessment of those therapies. So IPDM is an integrated approach and it's a completely open ecosystem. So IPDM is where a patient and a physician and a patient can collaborate in a better way, and that is what you need to do. Because in chronic care therapy, you know that over a period of time the patient becomes a part of your family, and once you put the patient in a structured SMBG where he himself is has graduated to a level to take care of himself and integrate the data, send it to you, you are able to sit across him, and you will find a lot of change in his behavior overall. So what is this? It's a complete holistic approach in diabetes management, and I think I should thank the global Roche diabetes care team to actually to think of it, because diabetes has always been doing simple things right, and when we don't do those simple things right is when we get into problems. So as Dr. Makkar spoke about, point in range is something which we should keep doing. Instead of doing glorified CGMS, we can do simple things of keeping point in range and get patients under control. So what is IPDM? It enables the patients to master the complexity of managing diabetes, to improve the point and time in range, collect, integrate, analyze relevant data to support the healthcare profession. Most important, again, collect, integrate, analyze. That is where IPDM comes in. And at the end, when we present it in a visually good manner, as today we see in diabetes India, everything looks so nice. The whole approach gets different, and that actually strengthens doctor-patient relationship, and it moves beyond selling hardware to offer integrated solution to diabetes management. So 6 major steps of IPDM is structured assessment and training, that we need to first train our patient. Then we should give them what is the structure. A lot of times a patient comes and says, random sugar kiya 250 tha. Now, random sugars have no value. Dr. Makkar told us how one should do a structured SMBG based on what the patient's therapy is, what is the patient's comorbidity and the risks. Then that whole SMBG need to be structured and documented. So the whole idea of IPDM is that the glucose meter is connected via Bluetooth to the app. So there's a the structuring is automatically done. There's a sync which is happening. The analysis is automatically done. All that the patient today needs to do is make a PDF and send. And in future, you're going to have a cloud base where the doctor himself would have the Roche diabetes care program, where as soon as on a real time basis, when the patient measures the blood glucose, through a cloud, the doctor is able to get it. So management of type 1, management of gestational diabetes, management of patients who are at chronic kidney disease and high risk for hypoglycemia, unaware patients, patients who are undergoing surgery, all these things can be so well managed. Then once that is done, there's a personalized management. The ADS always said that you need to tailorized management for each patient, and that's what this helps, and also treatment effectiveness. So the strict 6 strong pillars on what IPDM stands today is in front of you. And again, it is not something out of someone's figment of imagination. It has been tested in a randomized controlled trial. So here you are looking at the ProValue study where 2 clusters were actually followed up. As you can see, 1,000 patients in Germany, 51 practices over a 12-month period. You had one cohort which had IPDM, almost 450. The other cohort were on usual care. And what was we looking at? We were looking at HbA1c, the primary endpoint. Secondary endpoint, we looked at multiple behavioral changes, quality of life issues, and also economic issues. And that's why it becomes extremely important. What it showed, that significant improvement in HbA1c was seen. There was at least 0.5% reduction in everyone who used IPDM. The baseline HbA1c or starting was 8.4%. Patients were long-standing diabetes for at least 14 years. Most of them were on insulin therapy. I would say 100% of them were on insulin therapy, and insulin therapy for a mean duration of 7 years, majority on basal bolus and MDI therapy. So patients who really require self-management, higher patient and physician satisfaction rates, increased patient adherence, not only to SMBG, but a lot of other lifestyle issues as well. Now, what did IPDM result in? early recommendation of therapy adjustments, and improvement of broad range of outcome. So within 3 months itself, the IPDM group came down in the HbA1c and they maintained that HbA1c without, most importantly, no therapy change, but without any increase in hypoglycemia. That's extremely important. So quality of life did not change at all by using IPDM as such. And what was the cost effectiveness study, which was a secondary analysis, a secondary endpoint of the pro value? There was a reduction of mortality, additional quality of adjusted life years. The IPDM patients gained 0.52 life years and 0.287 quality associated life years per patient. There's a rate reduction of first acute myocardial infarction, reduction of hypoglycemic events by 8% in the IPDM group. And patients whose baseline HbA1c was more than 9%, there was a 1.3% reduction in HbA1c. So just by actually integrating their data, analyzing the data, and having a better physician-patient relationship, you are able to give better benefits to our patients. So what are the foundations of IPDM approach? Effective and efficient process, more frequent and timely therapy adjustment, faster and more accurate decision making, greater clinical efficiency, greater clinical satisfaction, improved clinical outcomes. Again, the whole idea there is clinical inertia in patients, inertia in doctors. And if we can bridge this gap with technology, and that is what this digital technology gives us, IPDM actually bridges the gap between patient and doctor. Many a time patient comes with 3 months of SMBG, and all that the doctor does is flicks off the paper and asks him, give me your fasting PP. And that's where the trouble lies. If we can have documentation done in a much more visually satisfying way, you can have much better patient doctor engagement, which finally ends up with improved HbA1c with no increase in hypoglycemia, reduction in variability, better postprandial control. Most importantly, in chronic care, we need a patient for a dal roti and champagne. We need chronic care patients to follow up with us, and a good collaboration using good evidence-based medicine is what IPDM will give you at the end. Thank you so much. Thank you all for a patient hearing.